Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today it's all about the ants. They're making ant hills all around and they're gathering and they're controlling different areas of the village. So today we're taking a look at Marabunta. This is a Reiner Knizia design, 2-player only. I split you choose an area control 2-player. Only Reiner could pull this off. Let me show you how it works. I'll see you on the other side. Marabunta is a 2-player only game that is I split you choose, because each round one player is going to roll these dice and then they're going to split them any way they want. They can split them evenly like this, or they could even split them and go, hey, this is 4, this is this, but the other player gets to choose which set of dice they want first. But there's also a special tile each round. Here's 3 different ones. In reality, there's only one of them per round, and they might say, you know what, I'm going to put these 2 dice with this tile and those 4 dice on their own. The other player gets to select either this or this. They get to go first and activate all these dice, and then I would go and then activate this and the tile, and you keep doing this over and over. So it's one player's going to split, and then the other player is going to choose and do the actions, and then the player that split it will get to do their actions. Now, one of the main ways to score in this game is controlling the different regions. You'll see there's different regions here with different colors. Nobody owns these regions. You're going to be going in and trying to basically have influence in these regions. Now, you'll also notice that there are different feathers here, or leaves, that tie. This is a yellow one, that's for pink, that's for green, white, orange, and blue. Now, these aren't for any specific player. In fact, the game starts where blue and red both have 2 circles colored for each of these regions, which means if blue has this area at the end, they're going to get 2 points. If red has this area, they're going to get 2 points. For example, let's say it was our turn and we have these 3 dice. Now these are just 3 numbers, which is pretty easy. And we have colors. We have the orange, the blue, and this 0 is any color. Now, generally speaking, you have to write these in somewhere adjacent to one of your numbers. However, twice per game, you can cross out your anthill and write a number anywhere. You only get that twice per game. Other bonuses will allow you to do it more. But look at this. So I'm going to write this 2 anywhere, right? So I am going to go like this. 2. So I've used that 2. Now I'm going to use the blue 3. This blue 3 has to be adjacent to something I've drawn earlier, or I have to use my second anthill, which you don't want to do that early. So I got to put a 3. So this 3 could go here, here, or here. Well, maybe I go something like, maybe I go something like this, because I want to start maybe blocking this off from the opponent. The 0 can be any color, but it still has to be somewhere adjacent to these numbers. Well, I'm going to do this. Guess what this does? This crosses me off a cupcake, and this is going to be this. This is sort of an engine building of points, because 0, 0, 0. Once you start getting more and more cupcakes, you're going to be getting points and marking them off here. This is another big way to get points at the end of or during the game that will help you for points at the end of the game. So let's say it's the blue player's turn. They have a 0 crate in this thing here. So the 0, they'll cross off their anthill and they'll draw an anthill, the 0 anywhere. Maybe they do this. Why are they doing this? Well, maybe they want to start trying to carve this out and block this player in from going across, because remember, most of the time you're going adjacent unless you're using an anthill, right? Now this allows you to influence that scoring. So this yellow that we already started, now we have 0 influence. They have 3 influence in blue and 2 plus 0, so 2 in orange. I don't have any influence here, but I'm already starting. I'm now going to be able to go adjacent to this. So I'm going to use this to color in. It's this symbol right here. I'm going to color this in. So now what does that mean? If I have the most influence in yellow, I'm going to get 3 points. Where if red gets it, they're going to get 2 points. If nobody gets it, then nobody gets it. So that's one thing there. Now this last one is we'll mark off a crate. So I flip the board around so you can see again, this is the other side, the yellow that I was showing you here. So crates, I could mark off this one. And if I get another one, then I could draw a 1 next to one of my numbers. I need 3 of these crates, but then I can mark off a 2. If I mark off all 4, I get 2 cupcakes. This is from a previous game that I need to erase. This allows you to put a 0, but because it has that line in there, it's like an anthill. I can put it anywhere. That allows me to jump around the board. 5 crates gets me a 3, and I can put it anywhere. This one, 3 gets me a +2, which just would give me 2 points on the track, or 3. Now, these boards are double-sided. In each game, you could choose to use whatever side you want, but both players use the same side. So for example, if you flip it over, they have different abilities. Like this will give you 3 1s. This will give you a 2 anywhere, 2 cupcakes. This one allows you to mark off 2 different scoring spots. So that can be very useful. which allows you to do 2 X's, which basically allows you to be adjacent to places that you normally wouldn't be. Now remember, as you're drafting dice or splitting dice, there's always going to be 1 tile in with it. And these do all different things too. Like this one gives that person 2 crates. This one gives them 2 zeros next to each other. This one allows you to mark off 2 of those scoring spots that aren't the same. This allows you to do a 1. This allows you to move put an anthill anywhere with a 0. So all sorts of different things that you can do there as well. Now there's also a back side of the board. Again, you're just playing until the game ends, and that's when all the cupcakes get crossed out. Towards the end of the game, there'll be a tile that essentially you have to cross off a cupcake every round, so that helps you rush to the end of the game. But once all the cupcakes are X'd out, then you look and see who has the most points. Again, influence is you add up all of your numbers, sequential numbers in every region, and you'll get whoever has the most gets as many points as it's crossed out, as I mentioned earlier. But there's a back side of the board, which gives you a completely different layout, and especially the blue ones, even though it's one big region, they're all over the place. So different ways to skin the cat there. So that's pretty much how you play. Okay, let me preface this by saying I'm a huge Reiner Knizia fan. He's one of my favorite designers. I'm inclined to like his games. I love 2-player games. I love head-to-head games. I like I Split You Choose, and I like area control. That's why I was interested in this game. All those things line up. Now I'm gonna say, even though I like I Split You Choose and area control, in my experience, there are some games I have done area control well. I have played some I Split You Choose games in a 2-player mode. Generally speaking, those aren't 2 mechanisms that lend itself well to 2 players. So I was really interested in this. I'm like, okay, how's Mr. Knizia, Dr. Knizia gonna do this? He did it. The guy's a genius. It's almost like someone challenged him, like, hey, you know what? I bet you can't make a 2-player game with I Split You Choose and area control and make it work, right? Because those are 2 things are like, ooh, those aren't usually very good with 2 players. Challenge accepted. He passed it with flying colors, of course. It's just crazy. The game brings agonizing decisions. You're just, even the splitting, it's like, oh, what am I giving them? What do I want? What do I want them to take? Just like a normal I Split You Choose, but it works so well with this 2-player because you've got all this push and pull. You've got the different things you're going at, and it's a mano a mano, and it's just like everything you're giving them, you're not getting anything you're not getting, you're giving them, and it's just, oh, it's so cutthroat. 2-player games are so cutthroat, and doing the I Split You Choose with that, oh my goodness. You will be agonizing over every time you split dice in this game because it's just like, what do I think they're going to do? What do I think that they think that I know that they know that I know that they're going to do type of thing. It's really good. The game, I am burnt out on roll and writes, and even though you are rolling dice and you are writing stuff and crossing stuff off, it does not feel like a roll and write game. And that's the thing I like about this because, again, I'm burnt out on roll and writes. It doesn't feel like one. I love influencing the area scoring. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to cross off this little green color over here, which means I'm going to score more points if I get it. Well, that's great, right? But you still have to have the majority. So now the opponent's either A, going to also try to go up that track and fight you for it, or just get in your way and block you so you can't go around there, or get more influence in that area. So, hey, you think you're going to get 5 points for that area? Well, you would if you get the most, but guess what? I'm going to work all game to make sure that you don't get that I get it. And I don't care if I only get the 1 or 2 points for it. You're not getting it. So really interesting there. Blocking the opponent. You know, this is sort of an abstract game as well because you're placing the numbers out there, and you could sort of you could see where they're going. You could sort of block them off, forcing them to use an anthill to get there. Maybe they've already used them. Maybe they're gonna have to. Maybe they can't get there anymore. So it's an interesting aspect where you're thinking of where you're going. You can block things. It's got that abstract part that I like. I always like it in games where you can control the end game timing. His gem, Lost Cities, does that really well. This does that too, where you can control the end game by crossing out a certain amount of cupcakes and things like that. So I always like it when you can change when the game ends, because if you're in the lead, you want it to end faster. If you're not, you want it to prolong it. I always love that in the game. It's one of my favorite game mechanisms. Reiner uses it a decent amount. He does in this game. It works well. I like that there's double-sided boards for different abilities, different layouts. That backside of the board has the rivers all over the place. It's really interesting how you can kind of get in and out of those things real quickly. On the negative side of things, because of how agonizing the decisions can be, this game can be analysis paralysis inducing. If you play with someone that takes a long time on their terms, generally speaking, probably not going to want to play this game with them because they are going to be for an hour every time they roll a dice. Because again, there's a lot to think about. Even I got induced with AP in this game, and I don't generally get that. I usually shoot from the hip pretty well. This game can be analysis paralysis inducing. Just be aware of that. Okay, so when you're there is an ability where it's a double X tile where you can put 2 X's anywhere next to each other, but you can actually put those X's, the first one doesn't have to be next to anything. And everywhere in the game, anytime you can go anywhere, they have a little anthill symbol, which has like a second little line in there that says, hey, you can kind of place that anywhere. This you can place anywhere, but two of them have to be next to each other. And the icon already shows they're next to each other, but it doesn't show the anthill. So like you don't realize that you can actually put that anywhere. Anyways, they should have put little anthill markers on those next to each other. Little nitpick, but that icon should have been better. And I like the crate aspect in this game where you're marking off the different little special abilities, you're going for these, you're gonna get these, but it almost felt like there weren't quite enough crates to really make it wild. Like you might get one of these done, maybe two max, even if you're like going for them. But you know, I like that there's some of them are easier to get and some of the more powerful abilities are harder to get, but I don't know, I felt like that should have been a bigger part of the game. It's not. I mean, who am I to guess Dr. Knizia's game balancing? I'm sure it's perfect, but for me, it felt like, oh, I like that aspect of the game, but it wasn't used quite as much as I would have liked. But that's it. Overall, the game is fantastic. If you're looking for a great two-player, 20-minute game that's a crunchy filler game, I Split You Choose, worker placement, it's fantastic. This has been a Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games, helping you on the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and they'll be launching their 4.5 Kickstarter this July, which will introduce the new Galactic Minecraft and Watson Game Toppers, as well as new game mats, miniature gaming terrain packs, leg kit options, dining covers, accessories, and amazing package deals. Their summer sale is running right now, and you can get 15% off all accessories and premium game mats at GameToppersLLC.com.